Hi, everyone. This is Megan.
And this is Steven.
And this is the Synchrony Podcast, where we talk about transforming apostolic dating culture and ending loneliness in the church.
Yep.
I am extremely tired today.
Yeah, we're on the struggle bus today, but I feel like we say that every time, so I feel like it's a common expectation.
Yeah, at this point, I feel like every time we've had the chance lately, a few people have come in for consultations who are like longtime listeners of the podcast. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. And I feel like my first instinct every time someone says, "Oh, we listened to the podcast," is to go, "Oh, I'm
Yeah.
so sorry."
Yeah, I'm really sorry.
So sorry. I just start with an apology. Like,
Yeah.
dude, my Korean teacher beat me up today.
No.
Can I just vent
I
about
noticed
this?
during your lesson, he sent a video in our email in the middle of the lesson. I'm like, oh, that can't be good.
No, it was fine. He was sending us a document to use to pull up because he was having a hard time screen sharing.
Oh, okay.
So for context, my best friend Brittany and I are taking Korean lessons for fun
Mm-hmm.
because we want to experience mental pain.
You want to show them what's on your blanket?
No. It's a K-pop group that I like, but I'm not sharing because I don't want you guys to judge me. So Brittany and I both we like Korean cultural stuff, Korean food, K-drama every once in a while. Korean music I think is fun. And as both of us love languages and cultures, and she has already done some basic Korean study over the last few years, I have not. And we decided we were going to go in together on Korean lessons, right? Man, oh man, I tell you what, I have not taken to this language like I expected to.
Yeah.
But I'm approaching it with a mindset. I'm very proud of myself because I'm approaching it with a mindset that it's okay to fail at it a bunch and just keep trying until it clicks.
Is it not sticking as quickly as Spanish did for you?
No, Spanish is very easy for me. And I think it was because, one, I grew up singing in a touring choir and we sang a lot of Latin. So the pronunciation came very naturally to me. And the vocabulary is pretty easy because a lot of the roots are the same. And the grammatical structure is not that complicated. Is fine. With Korean, I'm having to learn an entirely different alphabet. And it's a phonetic alphabet. But it's still, I am really, really struggling. I'm not a visual learner. I'm more of an auditory person. But you have to, in order to go through lessons, in order to do worksheets, you have to learn how to read the language,
Yeah.
right? And having to understand what the shape means, like what the shape sounds like.
Yeah.
I tell you what, it is giving me a run for my money. And my poor teacher is I can't say that he's patient because tonight he was clearly annoyed with me. And yeah. And I turned in my homework and half of it, I wrote a bunch of letters backwards.
Oh, no.
So anyway, he kind of chewed me up and spit me out. So I'm feeling a little bit of emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
But anyway, it's a good experience. I'm excited eventually I want to go to South Korea and be able to walk around and eat everything that I want to eat and ask and order it in a restaurant and not embarrass myself.
Yeah. Not say the words backwards.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's much easier to pronounce than it is to read, in my opinion, which is comforting, I guess. I don't know. So anyway, I'm not firing on all cylinders. So you are driving tonight.
Oh man. Well, I drive everywhere, so
I do. I am a passenger princess.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, I sometimes the kids are like, "Mommy, why don't you ever drive?" And I'm like, "I don't have to."
And your father gets motion sickness, so he's a designated driver.
Yeah, you do get motion sickness. So.
Okay. So, we didn't come into this podcast with a great plan, but I had an idea. And it's Fletcher's birthday yesterday, or was it 2 days ago? Yesterday?
It was yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah. Our son just turned 4.
He just turned 4.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Our big boy turned 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like his speech and his brain just flipped a switch and he's like a whole different kid. And I'm not saying it just because he's 4. I'm saying the last couple of weeks, I feel like it's been that way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Fletcher, if you ever watch this, we love you and we're proud of you.
Buddy. You're the best.
But I wanted to ask you a couple questions regarding the dating scene for our kids
Okay.
one day.
Mm.
Not yet.
No.
What do you want to be different for them?
Oh my God. So many things.
Let's start off with Lily because I feel like that's the most close to you because you female.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, a lot of what we do, I think at the core is really motivated by wanting the world to be different when our kids get to dating, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I have to kind of start off, I guess, by contrasting it with my experience
Okay.
a little bit. I feel like, I don't know if you had the same experience. I feel like I became aware of this pressure to be liked by boys from a very, very young age.
Yeah.
Like, I remember I had friends in preschool that said that they were my boyfriends, right? Or at church, like people, if you wore a cute little Easter outfit and your little male friend wore a cute little Easter outfit, they would want you to take pictures and hold hands and like dress, kind of like play dolls,
Yeah. And they would also make remarks like, "Oh, look, look,
Yeah,
they're
look
so cute
how cute.
together."
Maybe you'll get married one day, all these
Yeah.
different things. And you're like a toddler, right? So it's
Yeah,
not like
sure.
that stuff is like,
And it's playful.
yeah, 100%. But I do think that from a very young age, I had the understanding that like boys were supposed to like me, right? And that having a boy like me was like an important thing, a good thing, you know? Um, and I think that drove a lot of my thought patterns and behaviors from a very young age. Like, and some of this is like my own kind of like trauma, I guess. And like, none of us come out of childhood whole, right?
Yeah, sure.
So I think I came out of childhood really wanting to be, uh, needing a lot of approval and validation.
Okay.
Right. There's a really good, actually, I just asked Carissa King about this because I was thinking about this podcast of theirs I listened to. If I can find the link, I'll drop it in the description. But she and Adam, they're the hosts of the Dear Young Married Couple podcast. If you aren't familiar, they interviewed an author who I think he's a therapist, and he wrote this book basically about, he calls it your primal question. So this idea that all of us, because of our context that we grow up in, have this kind of driving central question that motivates us. And he has like, I think like 8 or 9 different primal questions that he kind of sorts people into. And it's not like a personality test. It's just sort of a framework to think about like why you are the way that you are. And it's like, am I safe? Am I making a difference? Am I all these different things? So mine very much was, am I loved? Like, am I enough? I think was the one
Yeah.
that I took. There's like a quiz you can take. It's actually pretty fun. Um, so my primal question being, am I enough? Right. And having this sense at a very young age from both the place that I was in and like everything I was watching, like all the Disney movies and all the romance stuff that I got kind of exposed to very young, all that discourse kind of built up in me to say, okay, a man liking me and wanting to be with me and choosing me should make me feel enough.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, that's the narrative you're being told by every angle
Yeah.
growing up. When you're going to school, when you're seeing your friends, they're pursuing the first thing they're wanting to pursue to be grown up
Mm-hmm.
is a relationship, even
Yeah.
if they're in middle school or even joking around or even playfully in elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
But and even in going to youth group and going to church, you also hear about the power of what God can do with married couples, right?
Yeah, but that's not why I wanted to date somebody. I
No,
mean,
I know.
like,
I'm not saying power in the sense of like you as a teenager, your whole purpose was to try to find your, soul winning mate with, and then you go and reach the world. I'm talking about that, like, oh, I will be complete once I get to said status.
so I do think that our culture, and this is not new and this is not unique to just apostolic culture.
No.
I do think that our culture sees marriage as a rite of passage into adulthood,
Mm-hmm.
which is why folks that end up being single well well into adulthood sometimes feel like they really don't fit in anywhere,
Yeah.
right? Because we don't consider people to be fully adult, fully grown until they are married culturally.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, which is really ridiculous in a lot of ways, but it's this rite of passage, right? It's this way to sort of dot the I and cross the T off on you developing as a person and how we think about it in our culture.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something you aspire to. It's a goal, right? But I think for me, it was also how I envisioned my self-worth becoming secure, right? Like it
Yeah.
was almost like emotional insurance if I could have someone who affirmed me in that way, right? So I wanted that from a very young age. I think my first hope for Lily is that her interactions with young men her age are not driven by that desire to be validated. And I hope that her validation comes from other things.
Okay.
Like, I want her to feel secure in herself, secure in who she is in God. And I want her to know that her beauty and her attractiveness and her, charisma and all the things that she is aren't dependent on or contingent on approval from the opposite sex.
Yeah. Okay. Then a follow-up question to that is, as parents to this amazing, funny, smart, extremely creative and sassy daughter of ours, how can we help her get there
Yeah.
or help her not get to where we were?
Yeah, we're trying to figure that out. And I think we should caveat this whole portion if we're going to be talking about our parenting style
Sure.
to say that like this is an experiment, right?
Yeah.
We don't know how it's going to turn out.
I've told multiple people, I'm like, hey, what we're doing is a trial run. And come back to me in 15 years and ask me how it went.
at Lily's last birthday party, it was so great. One of the moms who was there, I really love her. And her third child is in Lily's class. So she has 4 kids. So and the 2 older ones I think are like teenagers. And then there's Lily's friend and then a younger sibling. And we were talking about it. So she's just like a very experienced mom and she's very chill. So I was saying basically that same thing of like, sometimes I think that like my parenting with Lily is just an experiment. And she's like, yeah, I call my oldest my first pancake. Like the first pancake always comes out a little lopsided,
a little burnt,
but still delicious. And she's like, and then I had my second pancake and then my third pancake and then my fourth pancake. And I'll be honest, that's too many pancakes. And I was like, wow, like it's laid out there. But yeah, I mean, so I think like we don't know how our parenting style is going to turn out. I think the one main thing that I'm really, really, really trying to avoid is sexualizing infant relationships or sexualizing child relationships and friendships.
Yeah.
Like Lily has had very close male friends since she was 2, right?
Well, she's kind of forced to because everyone her age or within a year of her age is all male.
Yeah, most of the people at our church who have kids for whatever reason had boys around the time that Lily was born. So, yeah.
All my disc golf friends somehow can't have daughters.
Yeah, they all have sons, which is going to make for a
except for Clayton.
Yeah, So there's Clayton. Clayton has the girls, but it's going to make for a lit youth group one day.
Yeah, for real.
It's going to be really fun and high
energy.
It's
going to be wild.
Yeah, but yeah, like she has a bunch of male friends, and like when we first moved here, her closest friends were your best friend Nick's kids.
Yeah.
So both boys, older than she is.
Yeah.
And we called them her practice brothers.
Yeah, for real.
And they've played together a lot. They've hung out together a lot. We are very, very careful not to use a bunch of like romantic language about their friendship or like touchy stuff
when we're around her.
Yeah, I mean,
I've totally made jokes about like, all right, how many goats do you offer?
Yeah, we've made weird dowry jokes.
I will take multiple cattle.
Right, with Nick and Kelsey, and also also with Michael and Joetta, because she was really close to Elisha for a while.
Whoever's offering.
Yeah, whoever's offering. Okay, for those of you just tuning in and thinking that we're part of some weird fringe society, we do not actually do bride prices.
Completely joking.
Yeah, yeah, no. So like, but like in front of Lily, when we're talking to her, talking to
Yeah.
her friend, we try not to make it weird, right? Oh, you guys are such good friends.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you have such a great friend.
Even when
Like,
she says statements like, "Oh, there, that he's my boyfriend,"
mhm.
like I think a lot of people would normally segue into, "Oh, really?"
Yeah.
And I hear you very intentionally sometimes, like, "Oh, he's a really cool friend. That's a boy." Like,
Yeah. Like, we're just
and
going to be,
Megan or Lily just keeps on rolling, like, "Yeah, he is."
yeah, we're just going to be friends. And I don't know that it's going to work, but I was gratified because like so one of the boys is a friend of hers is a little bit older than she is, and started to tease her about how another boy that they hang out with liked her, right? So started to like, oh, he likes you, whatever. He has a crush on you. And Lily was talking about it. Lily's 6, by the way. So
Yeah.
like she's in kindergarten. It starts early. And I was like, Lily, how do you feel about that? And she's like, kind of embarrassed, like I don't really know how to feel about that. So she was kind of weird about it. But then later when there were 2 kids at school who were like supposedly, like in kindergarten, boyfriend and girlfriend, like they've held hands on the playground. So
Yeah.
it's getting real serious. She's like, I think that's weird. And I just feel like that's not how you should be friends, you know? And I'm like, I agree with you
Yeah.
completely. So we're just trying to make her not feel pressure to make her male friendships anything more than that.
Yeah, because I mean, she has so much of her life to focus on that. We shouldn't force her adolescence to become, yeah, I know, and even we're joking about it, and I know like
Mm.
parents say it innocently, but
Yeah.
they don't understand that kids don't have context
Hmm.
for what that joke means.
Right.
And so much of my childhood was me going, should I really care about what they just said?
Yeah.
When really the person that said something was saying something just in passing.
Right.
Um,
But I think it also, yeah, I mean, like we try to speak really positively about marriage to Lily, but not make it seem like an inevitable obligation, right? So
yeah.
like, Lily, because she's curious about like, oh, how did you and Daddy get married? Why did you get married? Why did you pick each other? When did you pick each other? Like we talk about that a lot.
Oh,
Um,
which speaking of that,
uh,
I told her that we need to talk to you together.
mm,
She was very intent on asking how babies come into the world the other day. And I was like, we pray for it and Jesus gives us a baby. And she goes, "No, I think you kiss a lot and then you get a baby." And in my head, I'm like, "Well, you're not too far off." But I was like, "Lily, let's have a conversation
we've
when mommy's here."
we've talked to her about biology,
No, I know,
like
but
the
like
high level biology of
I could
like,
tell where she was coming from.
yeah,
She wanted to know, like, this kissing doesn't make sense. And I
yeah.
was like,
We're getting close to that age where she's gonna have to know
yeah,
because if
100%.
we don't tell her, she's gonna learn it at school.
Yeah.
So that's coming any day now. But I think we speak really positively about marriage without making it seem like it's something she has to do. So like she'll say stuff like, when I grow up, I like when I don't want to get married if I have to move out of your house, right?" And of
Yeah.
course it's just things little kids say. And I'm like, "Oh, you don't have to get married. Nobody can make you get married. Like, you don't have to marry anybody if you don't want to. You get to
Yeah.
choose." And I try to make it really about like you have choices
Yeah.
here. You get to choose if you want to go on. She's starting to understand what dating and marriage is because she hears us talking about it all the time.
Oh, sure. I
So,
mean, she even knows that our other job is helping people get married,
yeah,
was
helping
what I
people get
tell her.
married. So she's got some awareness of it, but I try to make her understand that like you don't have to do that. It's not an obligation. It's not something that's going to complete her. I try not to make it like a one day when you're married, you'll understand,
No,
like
sure.
just I don't want to make it mysterious. I don't want to make it scary. I just want to make it a choice, you
Yeah.
know.
Um, yeah, we try to be good about being real with her, but
Hmm.
also being positive. Um, about being in agreement with each other.
Yeah.
Um, like if you say something contrary to what I said, even if you and I need to talk about it later, in front of her, we'll say, "Well, no, I agree with what mommy said," and
Right.
then later we can talk about it. But she's a smart cookie, and she's gonna ask harder and harder questions soon.
Yeah, so let's fast forward a little bit and think about what's going to happen when she becomes like a preteen and a teenager
Yeah.
and the feelings show up. Because the feelings show up long before the feasibility shows up,
Yeah.
right? Um and so I don't know how that's going to go, and if we're still recording this podcast in 8 or 10 years, we'll have to circle back to this little time capsule and talk about how it's gone, right? Um I do not want my daughter to ever feel like she has to hide her emotions about someone from me,
Yeah.
right? I never want her to feel like she can't share, I really like this guy, he makes me feel this kind of way. Like, I want that to be something she feels safe talking to me about, and I want to celebrate that with her.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness, I am so glad that you're getting the chance to feel these feelings about someone.
Yeah.
It's so cool, right? Wow. Yeah, like I know you're 12, I know you're 13. I know you're too young to really start having a dating relationship, right? Like dating is for getting married, and you have a lot of stuff to work on and figure out before you get married. But this is so cool that you're starting to feel these feelings, and that means that you're ready to start working on yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you
And
know,
I mean, I'm so excited for it to be a segue into, okay, I'm so happy that you're having these feelings,
mhm,
celebrating it, not
right.
not shutting her down, but then also following up with saying, this is a perfect opportunity to start asking the questions of like, what does it mean
Mhm,
to be married? What is
right.
it? What do I need to prepare to be married? And then that's when it can open up a conversation with us, with her, or
Mhm.
with Fletcher that says, okay, we have to start thinking about jobs, we have to start thinking about money and
And not in such a way that
not
it's like
like you have to
like
start now,
well,
but
and not I don't want to give her the idea that like you have to do these things so you can earn marriage, because I think a lot of people
no,
have
yeah,
gotten
yeah.
caught in that trap of like, oh, I have to go make this much money and have this career and settle into this education level before I can even entertain the idea of getting married. And that's not what we want to do.
No.
We're not here to create barriers to marriage, but we want her to be able to go into the chapter of her life where she actually can start looking for a partner with intentionality.
Yeah.
So we want to start training her when she's young as a teenager to go, okay, great. Now you say that you want to live a life where you're doing stuff in the church and where you are raising a family and where you want to have fun. This guy that you have feelings about,
Also,
right?
by the way,
Hmm.
while being a chemist, a veterinarian, and an astronaut
Yes, and a fairy.
at the same time.
Yeah, she's got big plans, big dreams. She's gonna run the world one day.
That's right.
Uh, but yeah, like I want to be able to say to her, like, hey, you told me that these things are important to you. So how does this guy that you like match up to that?
Yeah.
Like, let's start doing that calculation now, not in like a judgy way, but like okay, so what are the things that you're seeing in his behavior that really make you feel like he could be the person who helps you raise a family,
Yeah.
right? Like, let's start that conversation early. And for what it's worth, like I don't expect that to transform into like a bunch of super duper healthy teenage dating relationships. Like,
No.
I'm 100% expecting her to have crushes and get her heart broken a little bit and probably get into a situationship of some flavor.
Dude, with how hard-headed she is, I'm hoping she doesn't have to be the person that learns the hard way because she digs her heels in and she just grits her teeth. And even I think she will understand that what she is doing is actually wrong, but because she said it, she's still gonna follow through with it, which
Yeah.
I appreciate the tenacity, but
Yeah, I don't know how it'll go. But I
yeah,
I think I'm hopeful that I guess the takeaway is like I want her to have critical tools when she gets
yeah,
to that stage. Like there is no way to become a teenager and not be emotional and confused and want things you can't have yet and be kind of caught up in the ways that your body is changing and what it's kind of driving you for and where life has you, right?
yeah,
Like it's hard no matter which way you cut it. I just want her to have critical tools, and I want her to have really, really open communication with us so that when she does actually get to an age where she can start dating, and for what it's worth, I don't know what that age is. Like everyone's like, how old is your kid gonna have to, or, gonna be when you let them start dating? I don't know. Probably as old as she needs to be to really have her values identified and really know what she's looking for in terms of the person who could do life and ministry with her. that's not going to be when she's 16 because it takes
No.
longer than that to do that, you
Yeah.
know? So we'll have to kind of work on that framework as we go. And I want her to be part of that conversation. I don't want it just to be like, here's the rules. No dating till you're married. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like,
Hi, friends. This is Editing Megan popping in just for the folks that are watching the YouTube video. So we had this little like happy accident with our cameras while we were recording the podcast in that we didn't realize that the SD card on the camera pointed at me was full. So starting about where we are right now, there's this big chunk of the podcast where I had no video feed. So like there was nothing to record there. And then we realized it like really close to the end and swapped it out for an SD card. But there's this big chunk of time where like there wasn't anything recording of me. It was just Steven. And so we were trying to figure out a way to work around that because the content we thought was good and we didn't want to lose it and we didn't have time to re-record it. So I was thinking of things that might be a good filler video to kind of have playing while I'm talking. And I don't know about you guys, but this week has been pretty stressful. There's a lot going on. I know a lot of you are probably hunkered down, either going through this big winter storm that we're having or recovering from it. So I thought I would do something kind of soothing and chill. I am a big fan of the late and great Bob Ross and his painting tutorials. I think they're very soothing to watch. So I pulled up one of his kind of wintry, mountainy painting tutorials, and I also pulled up Microsoft Paint, which I don't know if you've used that, but it's great to go back to. And I painted along with Bob in Microsoft Paint and did my best to kind of recreate the painting that he did. So for the next little chunk of time, when you hear my voice but you can't see me, instead of seeing me, you're going to be seeing a screen capture of me attempting to Bob Ross in Microsoft Paint. So I hope you enjoy that. Sorry for the confusion there, and let's get back to the episode.
I think the other place where I want to really contrast our daughter's experience with mine is I want the spaces in which she dates to be like accessible but not private. So like I dated, like my parents always knew if I was dating someone, like I never dated anybody in secret, but I spent time with them in cars, in dimly lit hallways, in a lot of places where like,
Hey, why don't you elaborate?
no, thank you. We go to church with a lot of them. Sorry, guys. Like I spent time in I spent time with guys in places where my parents weren't, right?
Yeah.
And not so that I could like, be all tawdry all the time, but I wanted to be intimate and not like physically intimate, but just like romantic and close and snuggly and whatever. And like nothing wrong
Yeah,
with that.
sure.
That's like a natural human instinct, right? It just like
With great power comes great responsibility.
yeah, well, it's also just like not conducive to having conversations that matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, not that you're going to have tons of deep conversations with your boyfriend when you're a teenager, right? But like, if you're going to be spending time with him, not on a phone, not over text, if you're going to be spending time with him in person, I'd rather be with them doing like cool stuff. Like, hey guys, we're all going to go to the museum. You guys walk around that way. We'll walk around this way. That's fine. But
Yeah.
like, let's all be in the same building, right? Like,
Yeah.
hey, you guys want to go out on a date? Amazing. We will go to the restaurant next door. You guys will go to this one. Like, we'll drive, like whatever. I don't want it to be weird. I don't want it to be awkward. I know that treads into like weird, awkward territory, and some kids want to crawl out of their skin before their parents were that involved. I'm just hoping that by the time our daughter's dating, the prospect of like us being around while she's doing that to a degree that's like a safe distance, but still positive and present, not like creepy, like we're coming to chaperone you so you don't touch each other,
Yeah.
right? But like, hey, we want to give you guys great experiences. Like, you guys want to go to a really nice restaurant? Like, we'll pitch in for that. You know what I mean? Or you guys want to go take a pottery class together? How fun would that be? Like, we'll go, or we'll, sponsor you and like whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I want to give her great dating experiences that are conducive to actual dating, not just to heavy petting in the back of someone's mom's Buick LeSabre.
That's oddly specific.
Yeah. Anyway. I just, I want her to have that kind of opportunity to date.
Yeah. I mean, there's a healthy balance between like providing a space where your kid feels safe enough to be transparent with you
Mm-hmm.
and also not being their friend, being their parent.
Yeah. And that is true. I mean, you have to set boundaries.
Yeah, because it's one of those things is like we should not care if she does not agree with all of our parenting methods.
For sure.
Like obviously I'm not saying it would be easy, but it's one of those things is I I don't know, it's easier to say this when we're 10 years away from it, but
Mm-hmm.
like it's not my job for you to like me at the end of the day. It's my job to protect you and keep you safe.
I agree with that.
Like, and one of those things is I think it's hard to protect someone and keep them safe.
Mm-hmm.
If as a parent, I've never hung out with her boyfriend.
Yeah. And so that's part of it too, is that like your kid's dating life should require time of you.
Yeah.
And I don't think that we talk about that enough.
Yeah.
Like when our kids are dating, we are going to be spending a lot of time going out with their families, hanging out with these kids, having them over for dinner. Like,
Yeah.
that's going to be really important.
Yeah.
In order for them to feel safe, in order for us to keep them safe, in order to set the tone. And I'm about having those awkward direct conversations of like, oh, our kids are 18 and they're dating someone. Great. Let's have their family over for dinner. You guys are going to sit here. Let's talk about the framework of how this is going to work, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're excited for you guys. We're super on board. How do we make sure that everyone stays safe?
Yeah.
What are we doing with phones? What are we doing with curfews? Are we managing car rides, right? What do we
Yeah.
agree about there? Let's hash it out. Let's talk about it once, get all the awkward out of the way, eat some enchiladas, and then live life or whatever.
Yeah.
But that requires a high level of investment that a lot of parents don't have the luxury to give to their kids' dating relationships.
Yeah.
Or they kind of just expect them to take care of it.
Well, and luxury is one of those things, but it's intentionality because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you learn from who you've learned from and
Yeah.
they learned who they learned from. And so it's like, we're trying to buck that trend, right? We're trying to
Sure.
change it for us, change it for our kids, because like the idea of you'll figure it out,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't work.
Yeah.
That also doesn't work with your kids' exposure to pornography,
Mm-hmm.
and it's between them and God, and they have to learn the discipline to say no to it.
Yeah.
Against $100 billion industry.
Yeah.
No, it's your job as a parent to protect your kids from pornography.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's the same thing with relationships. Like, if it's up to our kids to figure it out, they're just going to listen to their carnality.
Right.
Because you know what? They're human.
Right.
And their frontal lobes aren't fully developed.
Right.
So like, I don't know. It's one of those things is like, I want my daughter to know when she's 30 and she looks back and goes, ah, I get it now.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that we're going to get that gratification.
No.
Until 15 years down the road.
Right. There will definitely be times when we're trying to do those like really dorky, like, oh, let's have their family over for dinner. And she'll be like, I would rather die. And she'll stomp off to her room and slam the door. And we'll have to go be like, okay, so your choices are either we do this or you don't have a phone. You know what I mean? Like, that's going to be.
Or you don't
like,
date them.
Yeah. Or you don't have a car. Right. Like, see, I don't even know if I want to be like, you don't date this person, because I don't think that works.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that they find
the whole
ways.
Romeo and Juliet thing.
Yeah, it creates a monster. I think it's like, okay, then if we're not going to have transparency here, then what you are signing up for is a ton of rules that we will radically enforce, right? So if you want our trust, then you gotta be transparent about stuff, and we have ways for you to do that. Or you can choose for us to be the dating police.
Yeah,
like you have an option, right? But anyway, I mean, again, this is all aspirational. I'm sure all the parents of teenagers that are listening to this right now are just like laughing their heads off about 100%. All this. So again, we will circle back in 10 years. But that's our daughter. I feel like we should talk about our son though, because his experience will be very different. I mean, it'll be a lot of the same, but some core differences. What as a boy, what do you expect that he'll encounter that Lily really won't as much?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you in
Hmm.
terms of how and what to give for advice to my son. I'm kind of flying blind because
Hmm.
I didn't have that with my dad.
Yeah.
So it was all of like a hodgepodge, like random guys.
Really quick explain just in case people aren't caught up
Oh,
with.
that's
Yeah,
true.
just like give them like a quick soundbite.
It's only like 85 episodes ago that people heard that.
Yeah, yeah. So there could be someone who's sane and hasn't gone back and listened to the
Yeah.
whole canon of us ranting.
Yeah. So short story short, my dad died when I was 12 to Lou
Mm,
Gehrig's, and so I was a lot of my teenage years was me trying to find father figures
yeah,
to invest into me.
yeah. And you never, I mean, you were 12, so I assume the answer is this, but you had never dated anybody or been, I mean, you might have been interested
Mm-mm.
in a girl or something at some point, but probably not when you were 12.
Yeah, I mean, not seriously.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I didn't. My first person I dated, I don't think was until I was 15.
Yeah.
But um, so I don't really I don't really know exactly. I don't have a framework for what, like a plan for what I'm gonna do.
Mm,
But I do know that the most valuable thing that has helped me the most was me being emotionally competent.
yeah.
Like
Being like
being able,
literate with
yeah, being
emotions.
able to process my emotions, being able to understand why people do things.
Mm.
Um,
Your mom did an incredible job. Like, I know it wasn't just your mom, but I think that because your mom was so sensitive to that need and wanted you to be really well equipped with that. Like your
yeah,
mom was so, I mean, we talked about it. Like she was so intentional with like trying to train you in so many ways to be a husband to someone one
yeah.
day. For which I am very grateful. Thank you, Mom. You did a great job. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. I'll write
Almost
you.
everything stuck.
I will I will write you an excellent Yelp review. Um
Sorry, Bob. I don't make the bed like you taught me.
okay, so funny story. When we got married, Steven's mom had hyped up like how much his wife was going to appreciate him making the bed, which I think was a way to convince you to make your bed when you were younger or whatever, like, or to convince you to try to make a bed well.
No, my mom really values a bed being made.
Sure. Do not.
Every time I walked in my mom's room, for the most part, her
Mhm.
bed was made, like
Yeah,
all the time.
our bed is almost never made. But
No.
anyway, like, because we're just hot mess people and that's fine. But I remember when we first got married and we were like making our bed and like working together to change the sheets, and you were like showing, like flexing your ability to do hospital
My
corners.
mom told me my whole life that you would care about this.
And I was like, yeah, Steven, everyone knows how to do hospital corners. And you were just like, when you make the triangle? And I'm like, yeah, we all make the triangle, Steven. Like, if you don't know what I'm talking about, just look up one of the bed making competitions or whatever. But you know, like it would, you were like so excited to like demonstrate that you knew this skill. And I was like, yeah, man,
Yeah.
like,
What other prospects knew how to do this?
yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I wasn't grading people on bed making, but thanks. Um, anyway, sorry. So getting advice from your mom, but
Yeah. So I think one of the things is I want to have transparent conversations with him about
mhm,
like the idea that I am not perfect
mhm,
and that I struggled and that it's okay for him to talk to me when he struggles.
yeah,
On top of saying, "Hey, the world says it's okay for you to not." Sorry, it says it's sorry. The world says it's not okay for you to cry. The world
mhm,
says it's not okay for you to feel
yeah,
big feelings. It's not okay for you to like understand who you are and
mm,
why you're feeling what you're feeling.
mm,
And I am telling you that is very wrong.
mm,
And anyone who is like looking for a good, godly partner to marry wants an emotionally competent person.
yeah.
And so I don't know. For both of our kids, I don't think we're going to treat our kids any differently, except for Lily has more of a desire to emotionally process.
But Fletcher's really, I mean, both of them, I am really proud of them and I'm really proud of you and how you interact with them because I think a lot of this comes from their time with you. Like, like, both of them are very good at articulating what they're feeling.
Yeah.
at a very young age. And sometimes like I'll hear Fletcher say something and I'm like, I have met grown men who could not explain their emotional state as well as my 4-year-old just
Yeah.
did. Like, and that's a blessing and a gift. And I think it just shows how intentional you are about like making them interrogate, like, hey, are you feeling, is your body hurt? Are your feelings hurt? Are you angry? Are you upset? Like, what's going on?
I was at a 3-year-old's birthday party.
It's just chaos everywhere.
And
if you have never been to a toddler birthday party, buckle in for that.
For sure. And I remember Fletcher, I went inside for something and Fletcher had gotten hurt while I was
like a water slide or something.
Yeah, he had gotten hurt for something and I can't remember what happened, but I came outside and he was sobbing to the point of where he was almost throwing up. For those who don't know, my son has a really sensitive gag reflex.
He's got a hair trigger gag reflex, man. It's like projectile. You could use it as a weapon.
Yeah, and
it's terrifying.
So like if he cries too hard, he engages his gag reflex.
As soon as he starts crying or even like laughing too hard or coughing, Steven and I instinctively start looking for vessels.
My body just like locks up.
We just go into like puke resistance mode. Yeah.
Puke prevention.
Like, how do we contain the blast radius?
Yeah.
It's like when there's like a core meltdown in a, nuclear processing facility or something.
Yeah. And he was sobbing and I can tell I think he originally got hurt because he hurt his like knee or something.
Yeah.
Or he had fallen and got scared. But you can tell as a parent when the kid no longer is hurt and they're crying because they're sad.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't know if the kid always recognizes that that's why they're crying.
Right.
And so something that you and I have been doing with our kids for a long time, and I think it's so amazing for them, is one of the questions we ask when they're sobbing is mainly for us to know, is your body hurt or are your feelings hurt?
Yeah.
And I said that out loud around a bunch of other parents. And Fletcher goes, my feelings are hurt. And I go, okay. And I immediately started going down the line of talking to him about that. And I remember there's like 2 or 3 parents around me that goes, that's genius. They're like,
we're stealing that.
Yeah. They're like, I need that.
I got that off a Pinterest post, by the way.
Yeah.
Like that was awesome.
And it's one of those things is because as a parent, you assume very quickly, oh, they're hurt. And then it's almost easy mentally for you to disregard.
Or like, how do I fix this problem and get them through this?
Yeah, like start rubbing their knee, their knee. The kid's still crying. Oh, does it feel better? Does it feel better? Does it feel better? And the kid's going, no, it doesn't feel better because they're not crying about their knee anymore.
Right, they're crying because they got scared and you weren't there.
Yeah, or they went down a water slide and they initially got hurt, but also their head went underwater. And so like there's like the fear factor. And so
yeah,
like just as a parent, knowing what to target makes a huge difference. And if you can just teach your kid to identify if it's emotional or physical, that's a huge win.
Because someday our son, when he is grown, will come to his wife who is in a panic and go, babe, are you angry with me or are you just scared?
Yes.
And she will feel seen and understood in ways that most women don't get to, and I'm so grateful for that. Like I'm so excited for that.
I remember when I finally learned in our marriage when to ask, do you want me to listen or do you want me to give you a solution?
Took a while.
Because it probably took 4 years.
Yeah.
4 or 5 years. Because like it was one of the things that you would come venting to me and my first reaction was, oh, she's coming to me because she wants me to help her solve this problem.
Right. And like and this is a pride issue for me. Like I will admit this. Like I hate nothing more than being patronized. Like
no.
Listen. Like I can take a lot of junk from people. I wade through a lot of trash on a daily basis. But like if you come to me and tell me something that I thought of 20 minutes ago, you know what I mean? Like if you're like, oh, how have you considered this very obvious solution or whatever? I'm about to lose my Holy Ghost over that mess. Like yeah. So you learned quickly to like.
Well, not that quickly.
Yeah.
Not quickly enough.
we made it.
Yeah. You were very patient.
Thank you.
Uh, so it's one of those things. It's like that, but knowing that that is an option.
Mm-hmm.
There are some guys that just beat their head into the wall over and over and over again and go, I don't know why this woman doesn't understand me.
Right.
When no, it's you don't understand
Yourself
enough to have this conversation with them.
Yeah.
And I think the whole trope of like, the mysterious, the mysterious woman, right? Like, I don't know
yes.
how, like a
woman is mystery.
yeah, like, no one
Her
ever
emotional
knows how
state
to,
cannot be discerned by men.
yeah, like the woman cannot be tamed. Like,
Yeah.
and it's like, or we just have a whole multiple generations of emotionally stunted men who are basically being told that you need to shove your feelings down and just push through life.
Yeah.
Because that's how you grind, is just rub some dirt in it. And I'm like, sure, that survived World War I and II. That's great. I understand that there was a reason
Barely
for it.
though.
Yeah.
Everyone came out alcoholic with undiagnosed PTSD.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? Like it wasn't a good time.
No.
For those generations.
And like, but I'm saying like they had to survive. They didn't have a choice, right? Well, we are fortunate enough to not have to be in that state of mind anymore, but there's a lot of people who still live that way.
Yeah.
And the thing is life is so much more enjoyable when you have a target to work towards.
Yeah.
And I feel like so many men like go through life not knowing why they're angry.
Yeah.
And not knowing why people don't understand them.
Listen, everyone go right now, pick up a copy of Terry Reel's I Don't Want to Talk About It.
Yes.
It will change your life when it comes to thinking about how men interact with their emotions. He's not a Christian author. He is a psychotherapist. You will greatly benefit from that book.
So I really just think, out of all this being said, my goal is for my son to know that I'm a safe space to come to.
Mm-hmm.
And if for some reason my son doesn't feel like safe enough or doesn't feel comfortable enough coming to me, at least me making sure that there's a healthy guy in his life that I trust their advice to say, hey, like, can you please like be there for my son if he wants to have a conversation? Because I don't want him to go to sources that are giving them bad advice. And same thing goes with our daughter too. If for some reason she feels like she has to go to someone else, I want to have her make sure she has access to someone in her life.
Yeah.
To be able to have these conversations.
There are times when you want someone who's not your parent.
Yeah, of course.
And I think it's important to have that trusted people that, we would feel good about our kids sitting at their dining room table, talking to them.
100%.
One of the things we haven't talked about yet that's a little bit spicy, but I think is worth calling out. When our kids are dating, I would like to have already demystified sex and biology for them.
Oh, yes.
And I don't just mean like giving them the birds and the bees talk, but like I think that because there was such taboo and such mystery, and most of my education about sexuality and desire came from the world, right? Like music and movies and Google searches were what informed my understanding of what sexuality was supposed to be, right? I want to be in control of that narrative for our kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're going to still
we're not going to always be in control of that.
No, because those influences are still there.
Yes.
But what I mean when I say in control is I want the first voice and the loudest voice that they hear about bodies and the way that they are and sex and the value of it and their own feelings and desires. I want the loudest voice to be ours. And I want it to be a voice of support and encouragement and celebration of, oh my gosh, God gave you this incredible desire for the opposite gender. That's amazing. That is part of your design. God made it that way. It's beautiful, right? And you're going to enjoy so much of that when you're married. It's going to be amazing. And it's nothing scary and it's nothing taboo and there's nothing wrong with any of that. It's not the way it looks in the movies. It's not the way it's talked about in the music. Like, it's definitely different than that. We can talk about that. I want it to be demystified, right?
Yeah.
I don't want our son's education about women's bodies to come from porn.
No.
I don't want our daughter's education about her own body, her own sexual experiences to come from a love scene in a movie, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is how my body should perform, is how many women are learning about that experience for the
I
first
know.
time, you know? So I'm not saying that we're going to be like those parents that like don't have boundaries and just tell the kids everything, but I think that our culture made a mistake in how quiet we were about those things with our kids, or how off limits those conversations were. I think that where we are silent, the world makes noise. You know what I mean? Like, if we don't have a narrative around those things, the world does, and will substitute it in for our silence.
Yeah. And the thing is like at the end of the day, if you do not point your kids in a direction
Mm-hmm.
of learning,
Yeah.
they are going to aimlessly wander until they run into something that
Mm-hmm.
feels like they have learned what they're looking for.
Yeah, you'll
And that's
connect with that
a
curiosity.
very, very dangerous way to learn.
Yeah,
Um,
and I don't even think we need to go into all the technology threat out there, because that's a whole nother thing for a whole nother day.
no.
But that's the reality, is they will be able to learn whatever they want from
Yes.
whoever they want, whenever they want, at a touch of a button. Really, no matter how many safeguards we put up, right?
Yeah.
Like, we can try, but our best efforts are going to fall short of their capabilities.
Yeah.
We just have to acknowledge that. So the best thing I can give them is to give them the information up front, so that their curiosity isn't to go find a false narrative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather than be able to come to me and say, "Hey, I heard this thing about sex at school. Is that true?" And me be like, "No." Like,
Yeah.
here's what it's like. You know what I mean? I'd rather them be able to have that conversation with us.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Um, what do you think it means as a dad to teach our son to pursue a wife? Because I hear that we talk about that idea of pursuit all the time, what it means, why we've, you know, whether women can pursue whatever. Like, there's so many definitional issues with that, right? As a dad, what does it mean? What are our obligations to teach our son to pursue someone? Do we have obligations to do that?
I think us encouraging him to pursue anyone is potentially dangerous.
I don't mean like a specific person.
Okay.
Like, I'm not saying like coaching him to go chase a girl. I'm saying, like, do we have to like teach him how to ask someone out, or teach him how to, like, what is our role as parents when it comes to teaching him to quote unquote pursue? And I have my thoughts on this, but I want to hear yours from a guy's perspective. Like, to be, or I guess another way to say it is, how do we teach him to be a pursuer?
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things that's going to help him be a pursuer is his understanding of himself
Mm-hmm.
and knowing what he wants.
Mm,
I'm sorry for all the women out there, but I'm going back to a hunting example.
sure.
Like,
It's a metaphor, ladies.
yeah, when you've shot a deer, sorry,
It is a grisly metaphor, ladies.
yeah, like say you think you have shot the deer, right?
Yes.
If you don't know what you're looking for, it's like getting out of a deer stand
Mm-hmm.
and just walking, but not knowing what kind of animal you shot. Right? You're just
Right.
like aimlessly wandering around the woods and saying like, "Oh, I remember pulling the trigger, but what am I looking for?" And I just feel like you're going to get nowhere and you're just
Mm-hmm.
going to waste your time. So basically the goal is to have a target, like an idea of qualities of a woman you're looking for. And in order for our son to know that, he has to know who he is, which I
Mm-hmm.
know is a very, very convoluted conversation because like no 16-year-old, no 17-year-old, no 20-year-old usually knows who they are and what they're going to be.
Yeah.
But at least give him the language to at least understand that he needs to be like working towards something, right?
And I think that kids can start to identify their values without knowing their quote unquote purpose.
Sure.
Because, like, we talk about this a little bit, like, values are not what you do,
Yeah.
right? They are what your life counts toward.
Yeah.
And I think kids from a very young age can start to identify, like, man, these are the things that I want to see different about the world as a result of me being a part of it. These are the things that, and I don't know how God's going to use this. I don't know what this means in terms of ministry. I don't know what it means in terms of family, but this is what I feel that my life is meant to support.
Yeah.
I think that narrative can happen when you're a teenager.
Sure.
And you might tweak it over time, but I do think that those core things, I do think God gives us sometimes those core sort of heartbeats. You know what I mean?
So
Yeah.
with that in mind, though, like, I think it would be a lot easier for our son to know how to pursue
Hmm.
because his goal is like he has confidence in who he is, hopefully.
Hmm.
And if it doesn't work out, we will hopefully have helped him understand like his value is not tied behind that girl saying yes or no.
And being resilient to failure.
Yes.
Like, it's okay to have a conversation with someone and them not be interested.
Yeah.
Okay, no worries. You know who you are. So
Yeah.
that's not going to diminish you as a person.
I think the times that hurt me the most when I was younger,
Hmm.
when someone said no to me, is because I was trying to piece together versions of what I thought I was. And
Right.
every time someone said no to me, it was basically them saying, what you are choosing is wrong and not attractive enough for me to want to go with you.
Yeah.
And then it made me question who I was again.
Yeah.
And then I tried like, it's basically like partially putting together a puzzle. And every time someone says no to me, I basically just tear apart the puzzle and start putting it back together again.
Sure. Yeah, and I think the key that you're getting at is we don't want him to be defined by those relationships, right? Like,
Yeah.
he should have his definition in himself.
Yeah. And it's not going to be a complete picture, like you said.
Right. I think another thing too, so I've been thinking a lot about this idea of pursuit
Yeah.
and what it actually means. And I really think that pursuit, it's not wooing people, it's not knowing how to be smooth and sweep people off their feet. Like, that's not what pursuit is. Pursuit is not knowing how to drop the really smooth DM, right?
Sure.
Or knowing how to quote unquote pick a girl up, right? I think pursuit is clear communication of your intentions. You know,
Yeah.
to be a pursuer is to say, hey, I just want to leave no doubt in your mind that I'm interested in you.
Yeah.
And I think you're amazing. And I'd love to get to know you better. Right.
Yeah.
That would swoon quite a lot of people, but it's
You know
not.
why?
Huh?
Actually, I want to ask you, why would that swoon?
Because women want the security of understanding the other person's goals, right?
And
Like,
intentions.
yeah, like we want to be able to hear, we want the doubt taken away,
Yeah.
right? The ambiguity taken away from that, because until someone has said, hey, I am interested in you. I am interested in you. I want to pursue you. I want to know more about you. I'm curious to see if we could work together. There is such a risk of emotionally investing into something that's going to be ripped away,
Yeah.
right? And women experience that all the time. They get kind of flirty messages, flirty texts or whatever, and then people will withdraw, and it just feels like the rug's being pulled out from under them. So if grown-up Fletcher can go to a young lady of interest and say, "Hey, I think you're amazing, and I just want you to know, I don't know how you feel about this, and it's okay if you don't feel the same way. I'm not going to be offended, but I think you're awesome, and I would love to get to know you better and to consider whether or not we could date." Like, if he's confident enough to do that and has the right vocabulary and the right respectful approach, like, I think he'll be fine, you know?
Yeah.
And I say fine as if there's like some risk that if he can't do that, he's going to like fail the dating game. Like, no, it's just that that is such an undervalued and undercultivated skill
Yeah.
in our culture these days that I think that training our boys and our young men to have those, to clearly express their intention
Yeah.
is a game changer.
Oh, yeah.
And guys, just so if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my God, I'd rather die than say that to a woman, like, this is a skill you can cultivate, right?
Yes.
If the idea of doing that freaks you out, that's something that you can practice and you can learn how to do. It does take self-reflection and willingness to try and fail and willingness to get rejected.
Yeah.
And those things are things that you can learn how to do, you know? So yeah, now we just have to wait a decade and see how all of these grand theories play out.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be an investment of our kids, helping our kids learn emotionally about themselves, right?
Yeah.
And I think the rest falls into place, right? Whenever you say, hey, this is how you process your emotions. it
Mhm.
gives them the foundation and the building blocks to problem solve for anywhere else in their life,
Yeah.
right? Work, mean bosses, weird coworkers, like uh, other students that are like, I think one of the things that gave me so much power,
Mm.
not in like a power as in like I have power over someone,
Mhm.
but helped me have so much compassion,
Mm.
was because my mom helped me understand myself. When I was at school, I got bullied a lot because I was pretty tiny for a long time.
Yeah.
Um, and I was also pretty passive. And so I was kind of an easy target for the ones who liked hearing themselves talk.
Yeah.
And so many times I walked away going, really feel bad for them,
Yeah.
because my mom helped me understand that usually those kids probably have a rough home life, and
Right.
that's their outlet to feel in control of who they are. And I'd be lying if I said that I didn't use that against them a
Yeah.
couple
I mean,
times when I got back into a corner.
you're not like
Like,
Gandhi or whatever.
no, I'm like, are you, is this really helping you?
Yeah.
Do you feel better now?
Yeah.
Like hearing that from a guy who is 5'5" and 120 pounds.
Soaking wet. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of
I should
humbling.
probably have chosen my battles, with, with some of the guys I smart mouthed off to eventually.
Yeah.
But, it's one of those things though. It helped me have compassion for them and say, hey, they're a bully. And I'm not saying what they're doing is acceptable, but they're
Mhm.
coping.
Yeah.
And being a 15-year-old, a 16-year-old, a 17-year-old, and understanding that is kind of crazy. And I had to live a lot of life at a very young age because my dad being sick and my mom had to really invest in me and make sure that like I was able to survive with what was going on. But still, I don't think you have to have a dying parent to be emotionally competent.
No, I agree. I think the other overarching hope, and maybe we're kind of coming to a close here because we're
Yeah.
probably
It's
rattling on a
yeah,
little
yeah,
bit.
no, it's getting pretty late.
Um, I think the big hope I have for our kids is that they buck the trends that we're seeing now.
Yeah.
That by the time they're dating in like a decade, the landscape of our culture has shifted significantly enough that their odds are dramatically different. Like
Yeah.
right now, I think, I look at this beautiful group of young boys that are all the same age as our kids.
Yeah.
And I know what has happened in prior generations to those boys. And I am covering those boys in prayer and I'm praying for their families and I am just pleading that they stay.
Yeah.
I want them to stay. I want us to keep the boys.
Yeah.
And I want us to keep the boys because I want us to keep the boys for their souls. And I want us to keep the boys because I want our young women, our beautiful, talented, passionate, intelligent young women to have partners. I
Yeah.
want, if I had the thought at one point that I'm raising Lily to be the kind of woman that in our culture is sometimes pushed to the sidelines.
Yeah.
Like we're raising her to be confident and entrepreneurial and intellectual, and she is and when I say we're raising her, like honestly sometimes she's driving this, like she's so brilliant and funny and all those things. And she might be conventionally attractive and she might not be when she's a teenager. I don't know how that's going to go for
Yeah.
her, right? Regardless, I want her to have the opportunity to have a great and healthy partnership.
Yeah.
And that means we have to keep our boys and
Yeah.
we have to disciple our boys and we have to to cultivate them into godly men. And so I want that for my son. I want to see him, I want to see our kids date in the church. I mean,
But the thing is, I don't want our kids to be the only ones that have this experience. I
they,
think
yeah.
that's one of the side goals for us with Synchrony,
Mm-hmm.
is that we can use this podcast and hopefully, Lord willing, like we can speak to the youth leaders and hyphen leaders that will speak to kids who will
Mm-hmm.
grow up change their landscape,
Mhm.
their mindsets, and then teach their kids to change their mindsets, right?
Yeah.
And to be different.
Yeah.
That hopefully this will be a butterfly effect, right? Of generational change of emotional competency.
Yeah.
Like
Amen.
if we want to put it that way.
Yeah, it's equipping this generation with tools that prior generations didn't get. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just hoping that, if you're listening to this and you're a Sunday school teacher
Yeah.
of small children, I just want you to know that it starts with you.
Yes.
How you are talking to the little kids about relationships, the marriages that are being modeled to them when they are very small. Lily and Fletcher already play house together.
I know.
They pretend to be the
Yeah,
husband and wife,
the
mommy
husband
and
and wife,
daddy,
mommy and daddy, yeah.
and they're already acting out the kinds of relationships that they see. So if you're listening to this and you're married and you are around small children or you're interacting with small children, you are part of this.
Yeah.
If you're single and you interact with small children, how you talk about your singleness, how you talk about potential relationships, how you talk about your desires to date and be married, it matters to those kids. And it
Yeah.
is shaping how they will see themselves and how they will approach this in the future.
And if you don't have kids, or if you are in a situation where you see kids look up to you,
Mm-hmm.
please don't take that for granted.
Yeah.
Please don't.
Yeah.
Because I was that kid
Mm-hmm.
who looked up to those guys.
Yeah.
And they didn't realize I was watching them so closely
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't have that. And so luckily I was surrounded by a lot of men who valued their faith and valued their relationships.
Yeah.
And were critical thinkers.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them. But it's one of those things is like, please don't take those relationships for granted. I'm talking about if you're 18 and you see this 9-year-old kid who follows you around the church and helps you take out the trash.
Yeah.
That kid is watching you. And when you talk to your friend in a negative way, or as you say, you see that girl and you make fun of her about
Mm-hmm.
something, I know you're just joking.
Yeah.
But no, he is learning from you, or she is learning from you.
Mm-hmm.
So just be intentional about building up and not tearing down.
Yeah.
Because a lot of our kids and young adults and singles need to have more positivity in their life.
Yeah, this cultural shift is not going to come just from us.
No.
Like everyone listening to this has a role to play, regardless of your marital status or where you are in this journey for yourself. You have a role to play in shifting the narrative of our culture.
Yeah.
And I can't emphasize how important that is. Like we are at a dangerous place with our demographics. We talked about this a little bit, right? Like we are losing too many potential partnerships. And it's something where every single one of us has to be treating this as a church health thing.
Yeah.
Like this is something that makes the whole body cohesive.
Yeah.
And so we all have to speak well of marriage. We all have to avoid sexualizing childhood friendships. We all have to speak life over these small kids, build their confidence, build their sense of who they are. But yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy that our smallest is 4. I was thinking the other day, I won't go into the gory details here, but this is kind of a testimony. Like Fletcher in some ways is the reason why Synchrony exists by the transitive property. So like Fletcher was born and his birth was really, really scary. And I'm not going to go into details because some of you haven't had children and there's no reason for me to scare you with scary birth stories. Women should stop doing that to each other. Or to gross people out, I guess.
For context, Fletcher's life was at risk, and so and potentially Megan's too.
Yeah, it was really scary.
Yeah.
And it really shook me. And that experience and the postpartum anxiety that I struggled with after that. I mean, I went into a really dark place.
Yeah.
And we were doing daughter work ministry at the time. And I remember one of those rides up to the church, you and I were making a contingency plan for what would happen if I made an attempt on my life.
Yeah.
because I knew I wasn't okay, you know, and I was scared of myself. I was scared of how dark I was feeling. Um, and I got support and I got great help and I started working with an amazing therapist. And that dark place is what made me start to do the work to kind of process trauma and really rebuild my sense of self, you
Yeah.
know. And it's taken years, but had that not happened, I would not have been able to step into what God called us into with Synchrony because I would have been so scared to fail.
Oh yeah.
Like I was living in so much fear, not just before Fletcher, but he was the tipping point. Like
Yeah.
I hit my threshold of what I could manage and broke, you
Yeah.
know, because of that trauma and all the challenges that came with it.
Well, I also think it was a part of you recognizing
Mm-hmm.
that there are things in this world you can't control.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that, but it was
I know
so
you knew that,
visceral.
but like this
Yeah.
was the first time in this real of an impact that
Mm-hmm.
said in the blink of an eye, your world could change.
Well, no, I mean, I had always been afraid of that. That was the problem. Like I had always been a very, very anxious person,
No, I know.
but that made it so close. It was
That's
such
what I'm
a,
saying.
yeah,
it was close to home
yeah,
because it was right there. It
yeah.
happened.
It was such a close call. I
Yeah.
remember I called it looking into the abyss because I thought I was dying.
Yeah.
Like, and so like it was one of those things where that dark experience, I feel like, is what the Lord, I'm not saying that he put me through that on purpose because I don't believe God punishes people with that. But so anyway, all the details aside, I think that if that experience hadn't happened, I wouldn't have gone through the reckoning that I really needed to go through to get honest about my fears and insecurities and kind of build some resilience for what God has called us into with Synchrony.
Yeah.
Because it has required a lot of failure and trial and error and stuff that I was very afraid of beforehand, you know.
Yeah.
That with some great support and counseling has really been, I can't say something that I'm comfortable with, but that's like it's made it possible for us to step into this crazy adventure and not just be overwhelmed by the constant fear of like it falling apart, you know.
Yeah.
Most days. So thank you to Fletcher for his exciting entrance into the world.
Yeah.
Traumatized my mother and you
Oh,
along with
geez.
me, but we all made it. So,
Yeah.
and now he is 4.
4 years old.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. Well, we love you, Fletcher.
We
Happy
love you, buddy.
birthday.
Happy birthday, buddy. We are having a Dino Paw Patrol party tomorrow.
Yeah, we're doing per his request, Dinos and Paw Patrol mixed together. So
Yes, it is a blend of things. So
Yep.
it should be fun.
Real quick,
Uh-huh.
There's been a lot of positive feedback on Bend Music.
Yeah. One thing I should say, because we didn't say this last week and I got inquiries. Ben is married.
Oh yes,
Ben the musician
yes.
is married.
Yes, Ben
We
is
know
married.
other great Bens who are not married, but this
Yes.
particular Ben is happily married, not one of our clients.
Yes,
Good friend
he
of
is a
the
part
show.
of our Discord, and he started creating this music, and
Sorry.
he's writing from the perspective of men. And some of them are personal. Some of them are for other men that are in the Discord or other men he knows.
Yeah, you guys like fed him some ideas of like, you know, challenges or perspectives you wanted him to kind of work off of.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he understands the perspective of a single man because he was a single man at one point too.
Yeah.
You know, and so he's now writing songs from the perspective of a father and a husband, but also from, you know, tragedy and loss and frustration. And man, they're so relatable in so many different ways.
Yeah, it's been really cool to see people rallying around them, and thank you all for your support of the song that we posted last week.
Yeah.
Are we doing another one this week?
Yeah.
Okay.
But here's the cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
He is now, as of today, on Spotify, Apple, and all the places you can get music.
Love that.
Pandora, I think, all the big ones.
I wonder if we're gonna get hit with copyright issues now that we're trying that. We'll figure it out.
I mean, as long as I have to figure out how to get official permission from him in a way that YouTube recognizes.
Yeah. Well, if you hear a song at the end of this, we figured it out, or we're just eating the consequences.
That's right. But
we don't get
he's
monetized anyway, so it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
He only has one song out right now. He doesn't
Mhm.
want to just dump all of his songs onto these platforms, so he's
Yeah.
going to release them slowly. But if y'all could go and find him, Ben Drummond, on all of the major music streaming platforms,
Mhm.
and give him a follow and listen to his music, he would greatly appreciate it. We would too, and also look forward to some of his songs coming out. Like
Yeah.
they are some bangers.
We don't get anything for this, by the way. We
No,
like it.
not at all.
I think it's cool for people to have anthems that
Yeah.
describe their experiences.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about?
No.
Um,
Besides how frustrating editing this is going to be.
Yeah, we had some stopping and starting because of SD card issues. Heads up that the next couple of weeks might be a little bit hinky with podcasting.
Oh yeah.
Because we are going next weekend. We are going to a wedding for some clients. Can't wait. The weekend after that, we will be on the cruise.
Yeah.
Singles at Sea. If you haven't signed up, as long as the boat still has rooms, you can go. So just check it out. Contact Chelsea. But yeah, so those two things are coming up.
Also, the week before, maybe, or the week after, we might be closing on our house.
Yeah, that's going to be chaos. So
And
anyway,
then moving. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah. So all that to say is, please give us some grace with podcasting for the next little bit. We'll do our best to kind of stay, up to speed. But I'm expecting us to be a little bit late on some or have to move some things around.
Yeah.
So we'll keep you guys posted about how things go. Maybe we'll do we had that long road trip, so maybe we'll do some car episodes.
We've
we
do
about
have the
doing
lapel
that.
mics. We could figure out something.
Yeah, we talked about doing taking our conversations back to the car, which is where most of our conversations started.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I do want to ask one last favor
Mm.
for all of our listeners.
Mm.
Please give us a subscribe. It would really help. I hate being one of those YouTubers that are like and subscribe.
One of those YouTubers.
Yeah, no, but it would really help us out. And we're trying to get this out to as many people as possible.
Mhm.
And liking, subscribing, commenting really helps us out.
Yeah. Thank you to those of you who interact on the videos. It really is a huge deal. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right. I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you for helping me raise really cool kids.
Yeah. Thanks for birthing them.
Sure. It was a blast.
Through hell or high water.
Yeah. It could have been worse.
Yeah.
We're here. We made it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love you.
I love you too.
You guys have a wonderful week.
Enjoy the song.
Bye.
Bye.
Lights too bright, noise too loud. These pacing circles, I'm breaking down. Questions stacking, my patience thin. Feels like war just to breathe again. Every button pressed like he knows the code. Same stuff by heart, same overload. And I see my face when he clenches his jaw. It's like looking straight at who I was. Let's say calm down, on my toes on nails. Hands on my head, I'm seeing red. I don't wanna be the man I swore I wouldn't turn into before. I feel it rise and feel it snap. Feel the past trying to talk me back. I gotta slow this moment down before my anger gets the crown. So I'm asking for patience right now before I say something I can't take back. He's just a kid with a fire inside, and I know that fire 'cause it looks like mine. I don't wanna lead him with my regrets. Don't wanna make him feel like he's hard to love, yeah. God help me pause, help me see. I'm raising a mirror. He's just like me. Overstimulated, nerves on 10. House feels smaller than it's ever been. He's not trying to push my limits. He's just learning how to live. And I forget he doesn't know the rules. I learned the hard way breaking through. I was loud, misunderstood. Wanted grace, not another look. I catch my voice when it cuts too sharp. See his shoulders tense, yeah, it breaks my heart. I hate the silence after the shout. That look like that, what was that about? I don't wanna be the fear he feels. I don't wanna be the wound that heals later with time and apologies. I wanna be safe. I wanna be peace. So I'm asking for patience right now before my frustration runs the house. He's not my failure. He's not my best. He's a little soul trying to move too fast. I don't wanna handle my heavy chains or take from love. Always come with a pain. God slow my porch and walk when I lose my way. You stay steady, you stay near, even when I disappear. So when I fail and I will again, catch me before I let it in. Let my soul to be just real. It's the anger I'm learning not to feel. Teach me to breathe, teach me to pause, teach me the space between feeling and response. So I'm praying for patience right now, 'cause I love him more than my pride. No doubt he's gonna stumble, I know I did, but I don't want my voice to be what he hears. When the world gets loud and he's losing grip, let him remember I sold in this, that love can stay, that grace is free, that God is patient with him to me. He's just like me. See, God help me be better than I was.